Family Guy, Ryan.
I-
Rafiq's like saying something real.
I know. That's why.
That's the perfect time.
That's why it's funny.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Hi, guys. Yeah, I saw the film on Tuesday. Absolutely loved it. It blew my mind, which I'm sure you've been hearing, since it premiered at South by, which is just incredible. I was reading that the Daniels actually were inspired by your music and came to you very early on in the production. Can you talk about just the first meeting you had with them and if you knew like right away this was going to be this epic production?
They sent us a script, which like I think we all had a similar response to, but my recollection is like being on a train heading out of New York City upstate, and like we're like riding up the Hudson River, and I'm just like, beautiful scenery outside, and I'm just like flipping through this script on my phone, like can't stop reading it because it was so crazy. And I was like laughing out loud in the train, and people were looking at me funny, and I just didn't care because it was so audacious and like absurd and also like beautiful. Of course, that was a period where the film was like twice as long as it is now.
Oh God.
So there were all these other even crazier plot line things in there that like since were edited out or like became integrated more. And so it seemed especially outrageous, but we were all just like, this is amazing. It's never going to get made, but I can't look away,
My experience was a little different, which is that I couldn't actually make it through the script because I was just too confused. I was pretty confident there was something wrong with the file, with the PDF. Like it just felt like it was missing pages or something. Nothing, like you'd like go to the next page and it wouldn't have anything to do with what was just happening.
Because you changed the channel and you're in a different universe.
And it was just like,
right.
But wait, what's happening? Wait, who the fuck is,
Spaghetti baby noodle boy.
At first it was like, this movie's not going to get made. But that first meeting with Daniels was super awesome because like you said, I mean, they were like, we've been developing this for years, and for a long time we've been hoping you would score it. And that was an honor just there, just the honor of them having, dreamt of us as a team working on it. They saw that we would kind of come at this as a family and could be individually ourselves, but also work together as a band. And the things that we created as a band up until that point also represented a kind of multiverse approach to music.
The music is another character in this film. Like the fact that it changes so much with different universes and different characters is just so impressive. You had a lot of people that also helped out. Mitski, David Byrne, Randy Newman, Nadia Sirota, Rob Moose. Like all of these people are just huge names. Were you fanboying out on any of those guys?
No,
not at all. In the middle of making this crazy huge score, we knew that we didn't want to like end at where the movie ends. At least that was my dream, was to like, let's take not only the opportunity to make crazy good shit all the way through this movie, let's eke out every opportunity, including the end credits, because the end credits is such a special, especially after a movie like this, it's such a special moment to like to do something special. We also saw it as an opportunity to make it a collaboration, and not just like have me sing it or something, which would be that would have been not as cool. So we had come up with a list of sort of dream collaborators along the way, and one of them was David Byrne. We were able to send him an early version of the film, and he immediately said, "This is extraordinary. This is I'm in 100%." And he was so into it and so conscientious about like the process of writing a song together, and was like, he would take notes on Zoom calls and stuff. It was just like, I was like,
super open, super collaborative.
Super open, super collaborative. And like he was so good on email. Like there were like many times when he was like way better with communication than we could be. And it was like, how are we like letting an email from David Byrne stink in our inboxes for 2 days? Like, it's David Byrne, you know? Mitski was also a fantastic collaborator. She was one of Kwan's favorite, Daniel Kwan's favorite artists, a longtime fan of hers. And so that dream actually came from them. And we said, oh my God, that would be amazing. So what we should probably do is write a song where like she basically sings my part, kind of following the multiverse approach. I wanted like two characters that were each in their own paths, but sort of come together at these apexes in the song. And so that's what, so I wrote this song and my part of the song, and then tasked David with writing his part of the song. And then he had the unique challenge to figure out how they could intersect. Okay. And then we handed that off to Mitski to basically replace me. But in addition to that, she also contributed some amazing other vocal textures and things like that. So it really became a three-way collaboration. And then the band that started, that all kind of was like just a piano version first. And then the three of us as a band like turned it into a full-on, produced song.
I mean, that's so kind of quintessential of a Daniels film too. Like everything they do is so kind of close-knit, and they work with their friends and they employ their friends, and everyone after a film or a music video or commercial that they've worked on, they're still friends. And it feels like it translates to the music too. And now you've kind of expanded your circle with these musicians and collaborators. Yeah. How cool.
Yeah. And we definitely did that on the score as well. Like we have a lot of our friends playing and singing on the score. So it wasn't just us. This was a big family effort.
Nice. Well, and with an hour and 50 minutes of music, did I read that right? Like how did you do that? And it took 2 years, right?
Didn't sleep very much. Yeah. And especially Ryan did not sleep very much. Over the years, I think Ian and I have both learned so much from Ryan. We've learned a lot from each other too, but this guy like really had an outsized role in making this actually happen. There are elements of score that are like largely orchestral, which out of the three of us, Ryan has like the most training and expertise in that sort of writing. And also like is just insanely fast at it. Like I remember there was like a period of like 5 minutes of orchestral music that had just been like looming at some point that we had to tackle, and it turned out to be some of the best music in the whole movie, I think. And Ryan was like, he like admitted in a rare lapse of self-confidence, which is usually abundant for him. Like he was like talking to me, he's like, man, I'm really intimidated by this part of it. Like, I don't know how I'm gonna write this. And then like, I swear to God, 24 hours or like 36 hours later, there's an email in my inbox with like the full portion of music just like perfectly written. Like it's just like, how do you do this? So yeah, a large part of how it was possible to make it was that we had somebody on our team who was really prolific and like able to just kind of like get through a lot of things. When the Daniels had come to us, they had been like, okay, we love that you reconcile all of these unlikely sort of contrasting elements in your music, and that's where we want the score to end up. But at the beginning, it should almost feel like flipping channels or something where each universe has like a very sort of easily identifiable kind of feeling to it musically. And they seem completely unrelated to each other. And that would allow for that eventual, combination and sort of like transcendence of the boundaries between universes to still be recognizable as an amalgam of them, because each thing would have its own integrity, Mm-hmm. And that initial part was actually some of the hardest for all of us, because like we're not really used to like very specifically embodying like a particular genre. They gave us really good advice, which was to earnestly like, like the music should be serious even in the funny moments, because the earnestness of the music will like make it funnier than if we tried to like do some, So obviously that was really helpful in many cases, but there were still things like the hot dog musical, like the hot dog hands musical, and
Yes.
like the like, Randy Newman Rakakuni song. Like they're like things that were just so far outside of stuff that we would usually do. But I guess we're just like three very silly people, and it wasn't as hard for us as we thought it was going to be.
Again, it just was mind-blowing. And the fact that there's 49 tracks is incredible. And just the people that have all worked on it are just so, one after the other is just amazing. And as a fan of Son Lux and your albums Tomorrow's, like that, there was a lot of similar sounds in both of those. So, I mean, your fans, if they aren't necessarily movie buffs, I'm sure will be very happy to know that this is all kind of, in the same universe in a sense.
Yeah, that's a really good point. And I think that we were attempting a kind of a multiversal nod there as well, which is to draw some very clear correlations between our recent recordings as a band and the score. It's something that Son Lux has done since the very beginning, which is that there are these kind of self-quotations across projects and across songs, where little bits of other songs will sort of emerge either melodically or texturally or something. And we've done that here with the score as well. So there is some shared DNA. Thanks for pointing that out.
Yeah, of course. It's so like obvious in the best way possible. So I don't want to take up too much of your time. So I will leave with one question for everyone. So when I saw the film on Tuesday, I ran into the Daniels, and they said that the one piece of advice they had, without giving anything away going into the film, is pee beforehand, because there's no bathroom break. Like there's no minute to take a break.
Yeah,
so
Sure.
Like you can't ask your like partner that you're there with, your friend, to be like,
It's like, what happened?
let me know what happened.
Yeah.
I cannot. I literally
Exactly. Yeah. So if you each had like one, I don't know, not piece of advice, but if you could just say one thing about this film without really saying anything about what the film is, do you have any thoughts or anything you'd like to say to audiences?
I would say bring tissues. I don't know.
I was just yeah.
That's real, actually.
Not necessarily expected. I think given the way the film has been like promoted and stuff. But yeah, definitely I would say bring tissues.
Cool. I like it. Awesome. Well, thank you so much, and congrats. Happy release day also. Like this is so major, and I'm looking forward to the album and A24 Music. Like that's such a cool collab. And thanks for chatting with me. This was so great.
Yeah,
Thank
thank
you.
you.
Thank you,
Cool.
Morgan.
All right.
Yeah.
See ya.
Yeah.